Namaste. On this auspicious occasion of Ram Navami, we are organizing and launching a national management of obesity program. It is a campaign to contain obesity and free the country of obesity. As you all know, obesity is a problem of the whole world. मैं थोड़ा हिंदी में बात करती हूँ तो पूरा दुनिया में अभी मोटापा का प्रॉब्लम है and in the next slide you will see a certain difference between the obesity in the rest of the world and in India. On the left side you can see that people in all countries have overall obesity. Limbs, legs, hands, chest and in the abdomen with पेट का. पर in India एक प्रॉब्लम है, यह सेंट्रल ओबेसिटी. यह हाथ पैर सब पतला है पर सिर्फ वेस्ट पर वेट है, एक्स्ट्रा वेट.
पेट मोटा है.
पेट मोटा है. So your central obesity. Central obesity is very dangerous because it's associated with conditions like type 2 diabetes mellitus, hypertension, as our eminent speakers here would endorse, and even certain cancers. For this reason, in this nationwide campaign, we are particularly targeting central obesity, and it can be managed through a lifestyle. In the next slide, you'll see that yoga practice actually can be used to burn certain calories. We have found, for example, the practice of Kapalbhati as advocated by respected Swami Ramdev ji at the rate of around 40 strokes per minute burns around 41% of calories. So it's very useful in burning calories. But not only is energy expenditure important, what is also important is what you eat. So do we eat healthy? There's a lot of talk. At one time people thought fats were bad. You will hear more from our eminent speakers that it is not only that you have to control fats, it's probably much more important to look at other aspects. But apart from that, we have to remember that as human beings, it is a few cubic millimeters of tissue in the brain called the hypothalamus. हमारा दिमाग हम कंट्रोल करते हैं हम क्या कितना खाते हैं और कब खाते हैं और क्यों किस कारण. So we need a reason to eat. What is the reason? जब हम भूख लगते हैं उस समय अगर हम खाते हैं तो अच्छा है, अगर दूसरे समय हम खाते हैं तो अच्छा नहीं है. So for this reason, in order to manage obesity, this is a target of our institution right from 2009, and you can see in the next slide, skipping to go through the brain. Yeah, next slide. And you come to Patanjali Yogpeeth. This is our health home called Yogram. हमारा inpatient facility है. इसमें 700 लोग रहने का place है. So either हम 2009, 2010 two trials and 2011 एक trial किया. और in the next slide you can see that we have effectively controlled not only the body mass index but also the waist circumference and the waist hip ratio, which is a good indicator of the central obesity. However, we are always interested to know how this happens. So what is the change in the brain? How is it happening? कैसे होता है? अगर BMI कम होता है कैसा होता है? दिमाग में क्या चेंज होता है? So हम एक केमिकल मेजर किया. यह केमिकल का नाम लेप्टिन 1994 पहले रॉकफेलर यूनिवर्सिटी में डिस्कवरी हुआ. और लेप्टिन अभी एक बहुत पॉपुलर केमिकल टैबलेट फॉर्म में मिलते हैं और लेप्टिन डाइट्स है पूरा दुनिया में. पर हम इधर सजेस्ट करते हैं सिर्फ योगा प्रैक्टिस जरूरी है लेप्टिन बनने के लिए. It is only required to do 45 minutes of yoga to increase this leptin. Why is it so important to increase leptin? Leptin is produced by the fat in our body, and it is naturally produced. It acts in the brain to suppress the appetite and to burn fat. So we do not need to look at all the advertisements which say, take this tablet or take that tonic to burn the fat. If you just do 45 minutes of yoga, or as you can see in the next slide, we have a pink bar and a blue bar. The pink is the pre, the blue bar is after. We have compared yoga with walking in a randomized controlled trial for 15 days, 45 minutes of each. This was published in Medical Science Monitor in 2014. And what we found was that this natural, produced in the body, appetite suppressant increases with both yoga and walking, but the increase is more with yoga. So this year, that is from 2015 to 2016, we got interested in launching a nationwide obesity movement. We have trained people. They first came before Deepavali last year in around October, and we did a randomized trial. We asked a basic question: how important is the diet? Is it important to restrict the calories? What is normally the diet may have around 1900 calories, kilocalories. Now, if a person has 800 kilocalories, is it going to make a difference if we add yoga? So in the next slide, you see a randomized control trial comparing a diet on the left side, 900 kilocalories, restricted diet. People were eating much less. पूरा दिन हमारा ये लोग के लिए डाइट रिस्ट्रिक्ट किया और राइट साइड डाइट नहीं रिस्ट्रिक्ट, पर दोनों ग्रुप्स योगा प्रैक्टिस किया और दोनों लोग ग्रुप्स में 50 लोग शुरू होने समय थे. हम पहले देखते हैं बीएमआई. अब देखते हैं इस स्लाइड में दो ग्रुप्स, डाइट रिस्ट्रिक्शन और डाइट नो रिस्ट्रिक्शन. बीएमआई कमी होता है सिर्फ योगा करने के लिए. इसके बाद हम देखते हैं शरीर में कितना फैट है, क्योंकि हमारा ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ द ओबेसिटी कैंप is to reduce the fat in the body, central fat and the fat all over. So in the next slide, you can see that irrespective of whether the calorie was restricted or calorie was not restricted, the body fat was reduced. And lastly, we looked at leptin, which I have already described. Next slide. You can see that in both groups, with low calories and with normal calories, the leptin levels have increased. So what is the difference? Yoga. So if we eat normally, remember, we are not talking of extra eating. No extra snacks, no extra fried food in between, no extra, we'll have the experts talking at 10 to 12 on what is healthy eating. So if you eat a normal diet and do yoga, you can guarantee a certain steady and sustainable weight loss through a very scientific method which we are monitoring. So yoga helps to make healthy food choices in the next slide. It helps to reduce eating when we are stressed. And it helps us to accept our body whatever way it is. Sometimes one person in another camp had lost around 45 kilos of weight, and then the skin was loose. The person was worried. What should I do? It doesn't look nice. So there is one solution: you can do surgery to cut off the extra skin. The other solution is you can love your body, accept your body as it is. So yoga helps in all these ways. Next slide. Yoga helps us to have a good routine. Can I have the next slide, please? We see that, okay. So we've moved on to our project. In this, we are targeting 24 states, actually 22 states and 2 union territories across India. Next. We would be having, we hope, 12,000 obese persons meeting very strict inclusion and exclusion criteria, including the BMI, which is set specially for the Indian population. that is above 25 would be included, and up to 59 years, which is the cutoff for aging, and other inclusion and exclusion criteria. Next slide. We aim to have both yoga and control groups. It is unfortunately not a randomized control trial because it's going to be difficult as it is. 12,000 is not a small number. And each participant will be followed up at 5 time points, starting 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and 1 year. We may continue it for 1 more year depending on how it goes. Respected Swami Ramdevji has developed a special yoga module. You'll see that in the next slide, which has 20 practices plus Shavasana. Relaxation in Shavasana is a very important part of any yoga practice, so that has also been included. Apart from that, in all the 24 areas, that is the 22 states and 2 union territories, we have distributed certain equipment. I request our senior scientist, Mr. Sachin Sharma, to indicate the equipment, and also you will see it on the slide. We have a weighing machine is something almost everyone has at home. But what most people have is electronic. Here we have chosen what is called a beam weighing machine, which actually, you can see in the slide, is accurate up to 25 to 50 grams. So this is a good degree of accuracy. We have a height stand, which is accurate up to 1 millimeter. These are all look very simple, but the accuracy is important. And then we will be measuring, in the next slide you can see, the waist circumference. Can you see that? Yeah, in the next slide. And here we would be using a special non-stretchable tape. The measuring tape which you may use in sewing actually stretches a little when it is hot. This tape cannot stretch at all. So we had to get it specially from Lafayette Instrument in the US. We hope that we will have such a tape manufactured in India too at some stage, very soon. And the waist circumference is also measured through the sagittal abdominal diameter. This is a very specific equipment. Again, we had to get it from a distance, which allows us to measure. Can I have the next slide, which shows people how to measure it? Okay. It actually has a spirit level. Can you show the spirit level? Right. We will also be, so that it is placed very accurately. So in all the 24 centers, people will be targeting people from tomorrow and actually doing the measurements. So you can imagine what a mammoth task it is. The next one is the mid-arm circumference, which is again measured with a measuring tape. So it is between the shoulder and the elbow. And after that, the body composition. Can I have the next slide? Many people will be seeing that body composition can be measured at restaurants, in malls, and so on. But this body composition is the only one which is mentioned as a research grade in a journal, American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. It uses a principle of bioelectrical impedance. In the next slide, you can see that electric current is actually passed between the hands and the feet, and the fat, the water, and the lean mass in the body offer different resistance. But we want people to lose weight, but they should also retain their muscle strength. So we have 2 more equipment. We check their arm strength and hand strength. So they're losing weight, but they're not becoming weak. The leg and back strength. So all this has gone to the 24 districts. And apart from that, a very important aspect, as one of our experts will be touching on, is a psychological aspect. So we will be looking at, can I have the next slide? The 24-hour dietary call. 24 hours, what has the person eaten? And we will be actually asking them to measure the sizes of the spoons. Yeah. In 24 states, 60 districts, total target 12,000. So each person will be asked how much they ate in terms of the sizes of the spoons, sizes of the cups, sizes of the glasses. And as you can see in the next slide, we actually have standardized questionnaires for not only diet recall, but for the level of physical activity, as well as for the quality of life. So that is, in summary, what we are hoping to do in this 1 year, with the purpose that through yoga, not through dieting, not through abnormal eating, not through cutting down on the fat or eating in an abnormal way, but through eating normally, but just by adding yoga to the routine, we can have an obesity-free India. Let us all hope for this. We are very fortunate to have with us 3 experts today who will be talking during the seminar at 10 to 12 in the auditorium, and it is my privilege to introduce them as they will greet and receive a token of appreciation from respected Swami Ramdev ji. The first guest is Professor S.C. Manchanda, a senior cardiologist at Sir Gangaram's Hospital. Professor Manchanda, I call him Sir, was formerly Professor and Head Department of Cardiology at AIIMS, New Delhi. He has over 400 scientific papers. For any researcher, we know what that means. And he has authored a number of chapters in books and authored 4 books, including a very important Autumn's Clinical Heart Disease in 1999. He is the editor-in-chief of the Journal of Preventive Cardiology. He has got many awards, including the Padma Shri, and far more than that, and very over and above that, being a very humble and grand person to come here today, as well as a person to promote yoga very enthusiastically, not only as a professor of AIIMS, but thereafter and right up to the present time. We really thank you, sir, for being present here today. We also request Madam Mrs. Manchanda to please come forward.
बहुत बहुत प्रणाम माता।
We have with us Dr. Usha Nair, who has come actually all the way from New York. She directly, such a lot of energy, because she rang me from Mumbai airport yesterday morning, and today she is here with us. Professor Usha Nair is the former provost of Tata Institute of Social Sciences in Mumbai. She is a part-time professor in several universities in New York, including the Adelphi University. She has served as an expert for the WHO in the area of mental health and social change, and has contributed to the formulation of many policies in India. Dr. Usha Nair and I have been associated for a long time. I've had a pleasure to contribute to a book which she brought out on the mental health of children, where she specifically wanted a chapter on yoga. We thank you very much, madam, for being here. And we are very grateful to have a fresh person here who's coming for the first time to Patanjali Yogpeeth, but we hope that we will have many more visits from Dr. Akshay Anand, who is affiliated, a neuroscientist, affiliated to, as a faculty to the PGI Chandigarh. He is also affiliated to the University of Kentucky and the Indian Academy of Neurosciences. He has won a number of honors and is a resource person in over 35 countries and 24 international journals. And for all of us researchers, we know what it means to say he has 94 publications in peer-reviewed journals. Thank you very much, Dr. Anand. At that, I have completed my part of the program, and I request respected Swamiji to continue mentioning about.
तो एक बार बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद फिर से पूरी रिसर्च टीम का। और ये पूरे देश में जो कार्यक्रम हो रहा है ये कर्मचारियों के द्वारा नहीं हो रहा, कोई वैतनिक लोगों के द्वारा नहीं हो रहा, अवैतनिक रूप से जो सैकड़ों पूरे देश भर में, क्योंकि एक एक कैंप के लिए 10-10, 20-20, 25-25 वरिष्ठ वॉलेंटियर्स की जरूरत पड़ती है, तो हजारों वॉलेंटियर्स इस कार्यक्रम में साल भर तक निरंतर अपनी निःशुल्क सेवाएं जो दे रहे हैं, उन सारे वॉलेंटियर्स का भी एक बार सबके ओर से बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन है। क्योंकि मानवता की दृष्टि से, योग को गौरव दिलाने की दृष्टि से, अपने ऋषियों के सिद्धांत के प्रति लोगों की आस्था दृढ़ हो, क्योंकि मैंने कहा सत्य तो सदा सत्य होता है, उस सत्य का आचरण करने वाले लोग कितने महान हैं, इससे उस सत्य की पहचान होती है, उस प्रतिष्ठा होती है। तो ये बहुत बड़ा कार्यक्रम है, हजारों लोगों को योग के अनुसंधान में समाहित करना, और इसको बहुत दिव्यता के साथ सभी कार्यकर्ता आगे बढ़ा रहे। डॉक्टर शर्ले टेलिस जी, भाई सचिन जी, पूरे योग सस की टीम यहाँ की, ये भी पूरे देश भर में इस कार्य के लिए अपना योगदान देगी। हमारे सारे वरिष्ठ साइंटिस्ट भी इसमें अपना योगदान देने के लिए आज भी उपस्थित है, आगे भी सहयोग देंगे। और सबका भी एक बार पुनः सबकी ओर से बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन। रामनवमी के दिन से इस पवित्र कार्य का प्रारंभ हो रहा है।